Hello everyone and welcome back to Pete's Model Car Customs. I'm here with an update on the I Gone Wild by Mobius kit for the Psychedelic 60s group build of 2024. I just want to run through a few of the changes I've made on the model. I'm sure we all know it's going to be a pretty basic kit. I know, it's a hair from something. A hair stuck in there. So yeah, what have I done? Well, on this ball part, I've cleaned up all the parts and aligned them, filled in the bit of a gap there was on the joints and that. So as I've got half the eyeball, I've got everything there lined up so as it will fit into the roof. You drop the hand through and hook that into the slots into the roof. And I'll, from the inside, add the steering wheel and dashboard. And that all snugly lined up. On the car body itself, I've cut off all the triangular shaving parts as they were mega thick. They're like dinosaur scales, these are. Like spines off the back of a dinosaur. So I've cut all that off and then worked to sort of chamfer along the interior part of it there, as it was just really thick across that bit where it was supporting the sort of tapering triangles. So I got rid of that and made up from sheet, cut a strip of, measured how high the highest was, cut a strip and just semi-copied the shapes that were on it, just held the strip round, drew round with a pen and cut them out, and then glued that strip onto there and then blended it into the remnants of the original teeth. I think I'm thinking of cutting a lot of this out as well, because you only need to support the ball there and the gear knob there, and then the rest of it's closed in. And I thought if I open it up a bit and put a basic seat on the inside, otherwise there's nothing on the inside and you're left with just, it could just do with a seat in there in my mind, and just sit it onto the stock flooring. I noticed there wasn't a belt, but there was a big support on the front which I've trimmed down and suspended a pulley on there, so as when the engine drops in place, it will give the idea of a pulley on the front of it. I've made a sort of fuel pump there and put some strip around it as a sort of delineation between head and block. I've got some milling to do there when I line the what they called exhaust pipes up to sort of add the spark plugs. On the top there, I hope you can see the contrast in everything. I've got it upside down. I've added along where the carburetors go a row of little dimples to represent, hang on, there we go, let's see if it'll do. A row of dimples to represent screws, and those square pads and, diamond pads, they're still squares, just rotated 90 degrees and trimmed them up to sort of give a sort of bit more definition of what's going on with the carburetors there. And moving on to the carburetors, I've just got them up the back there on the rack. I've added a few details to these to give a pivot point there for a throttle assembly, and around that side I've added some parts on to add fuel pipe. I think this is the front one. put it straight up. I've got all of these. Let's go for that's the front one. I've hollowed out the induction, you know, the velocity stacks. Where's that camera bit gone? Hello. All the way, opened all of them up to a reasonable depth. The pin on the side there is for a throttle linkage, which I've made up. The whining in the background is the dog. Having a quick, there go my wings. I've just cleaned the wings up and attached them to bits of sprue to aid my, you know, just give me something to hold on to while I spray them, or paint them, however that goes. Anyway, that's got the carburetor set up with a bit more detail. Like I said, those spikes sticking out the side are for these three parts. I'll just show one at the moment. And they hook on go on, get on there. Of course, from this distance I can't see. They hook on like that. Alright, people. They hook on like that. I'll have them 3 in a row and just take them back to the firewall and do that with them. They're just a suggestion of something going on to bring a bit of life to all those carburetors. It's another throttle power thing, and Tim's been at them to make something with a tri-carb setup. For the front there, I've made up a nice moon stickers. So I've made a distorted moon tank, a load of weld detail around there, all sort of exaggerated, and then another flying eye filler cap. I'll smooth all this up with the supports, the U-shaped support brackets in there, and the sort of rubber pads. When I finish this, will be rubber padded, you know, support brackets to go onto the front grille. On the front grille, I've just cut the headlamps off. And you can see those 2 holes are marked where the top holes where the centre of the light was. And if I run any electrics, I'll bung them through there. I'm going to steal some headlamps from the spares box, because this is what came in the kit. And it just looked like the top half of a bun, really. But rather disappointing on the headlamps. They could have bunged in a couple of chromed headlamps. On the eyeball itself, move everything over, I'm changing that a little bit. I'm changing the shape of the inner eye. Because on the box art, if I can whiz that round, that shape is quite aggressive. But what was on this moulded eyeball was a rather mild looking pattern. So I filled that all in and added a bit more texture, which will add to the sort of veining of it, and try to get a more aggressive angle on what will be the sort of pupil of the eye. What else was a bit of a distributor going on in the background. That's going to be very basic, because this is just a cartoon, and just bung that in the back and feed the wires over. Don't want to damage the wings on that there doodad. So yeah, that's it really. A few little odds and sods changes on this Eye Gone Wild, but it's great fun. I'd say recommended, not highly recommended because it's expensive, but it's good fun. Anyway, best wishes from jolly old England. Bye.